There are many ways to live loop inside Ableton Live. As you know, Live has two different ways to produce music. One is in the arrangement view, the way DAWs like Cubase, Pro Tools, Studio One do music production. And then there is the session view, which takes bits and pieces of your music, like a bass line, a vocal or a guitar recording, and layers them together to create a cohesive and understandable music. You can build a loop by playing live in both views of Ableton Live. First, your basic need for playing live is have a low latency, which basically means that when you press a key on your MIDI keyboard, the sound comes in as you press it and not later. To set this up, you go in Options, Preferences, and under Sound, you select your latency to be as low as possible without the sound starting to crackle. I usually go for 128 samples. Note that it is recommended you have an audio interface connected to your PC or Mac, as it helps for faster latency. I have the Audient Evo 8, which you saw in many of my videos, which is a real workhorse and never had a problem with. I will also leave some links in the description with some other interfaces that will get the job done. Now that you are all set up, let's get on with the first way to live loop. The arrangement view. This is the most basic way that you can do this, and it can be made in other DAWs, such as Cubase, Studio One or Pro Tools. You just have to set your instruments as I have here. Some drums, a bass, some pads and the lead tone. Select your tempo and don't forget to enable record quantization. I usually like 16th note quantization. Now, I need to know how long my loop is going to be. Maybe 4 beats, maybe 1, or maybe 12. For now, let's just go with 4. Next step is to drag this thingy over here for 4 bars onto the screen and then select the loop button. Now this button will loop these 4 bars over and over indefinitely. There is nothing there just yet, so we need to record. For this we need to arm tracks, and how do we do that with our MIDI controllers? We just go to the MIDI button in the upper right corner and assign the arm button to one of our pads. Press the big record button up top and then when you are ready, play. When you finish your first loop, you just go to the next one by arming the track with the help of the pad that you assigned earlier. And you continue until the loop is all built up. If you want to get one loop right after the other, that certainly is a possibility. One of the biggest disadvantages for this type of looping is the fact that the size of the loop must always be the same length. If you want to add some movement to the loop, you can always remove or bring back whatever track you want with the help of the track activator button that you can assign through the MIDI function to other pads. More pads on your MIDI keyboard usually means more control. That's why I like the new m-vave SMK tool. You should know that this will mute your track as soon as you press it, unlike the way it's done in our next way to live loop. The default DAW setup. Most MIDI controllers, such as the Arturia Minilab, the Akai MPC, or the launch key from Novation, have dedicated DAW setups directly from the factory. Today, we will talk about the Arturia Minilab and how it envisions live looping in the session view. The loops here can be as long as they want, and they will be looped forever. So for example, if I have a kick for a house song, I just play one bar and it goes throughout the song the same way. Going from one track to another is usually very complicated because you have to first select a track, then use the shift key and press the big black button, or knobby as I call it. When you want to mute a track, Ableton takes care to do it at the start of the loop. I want to change this bass, so I am just going to go to the second row with the help of knobby, of course. Now I can use the new bass with the old loop. One of the biggest things for this way of looping is that you can just start without much preparation. It works right out of the box and is a reliable way, but the fact that you must always wait at least one loop after you record is kind of a letdown. To have the benefit of the session view that this method has, without the cons, we must go to our next way of looping. The third type is to set up your own way of doing things in the session view. This is the most flexible way of doing things, as the only limitation here is your own imagination. You can stop instruments at your heart's content and always be on the beat you set up. You can have instruments going one after the other without waiting for another loop. And you can be more creative this way in how you set up everything, to more faithfully show what your musical vision is. This is a topic I covered in another video, I'll leave a link, so I will just have a summary here. First, I MIDI map the arm and play buttons to paths that are closest together. After that, I start recording, and after every loop, I press really fast in this order the arm and record buttons of the next track I want to record. This way I can loop without having to wait. Just like the previous method, you can shut off whatever track you want and it will always be on the beat. Note that you must get your octaves right for all sounds because you don't have time to change them from the assigned buttons. This doesn't apply if you have a big controller, which also helps with the fourth and last way of looping, the dub button. If you have a MIDI controllers with many keys, 61 or maybe 88, like I have here, you can use this way of looping, which is really easy to play, but kind of harder to set up. First, I go to the instruments and grab an instrument rack and drag it to my track. I go to this button that shows me the chains. As you can see, there is nothing there, so I go and grab a sound and drag it there. Next, I go to this key button and press it. I drag the length of the instrument to where I want this bass to play on my keyboard. Now, it only plays on those notes and not others. Next, you must drag all your instruments in the chain and assign spaces on the keyboard. Final setup is to double click on a space within a track to get a clip to pop up and set its length. For now, we will do 4 bars. Once this is done, you can start looping by pressing the overdub button, which lets you put brand new notes onto the clip you just created. This is the easiest way to play one loop right after the other, but you are stuck with the whole length of 4 bars, just like in the arrangement view. What is your favorite way to live loop? Did this help you? Also, if you want to check out my creative process when making a live loop cover, check out this video. Cheers!